What's going on, college football fans, and of course, all of the Miami Hurricanes fans, and welcome to today's preview video, the Miami Hurricanes versus the number 20 ranked Virginia Cavaliers. These two teams are facing off this Friday, and yes, you heard that correctly, Friday, October 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN at Hard Rock Stadium. Now hold up, wait a second. Before we get into this preview, you guys know that I always have a couple of announcements. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers. I can almost smell it. If you haven't done so already, if you could go ahead and click that subscribe button before you watch this preview video. Listen, I welcome all college football fans regardless of the team that you root for. So even if you're a Virginia fan watching this, drop a sub down there for Coach Coop. Let's make 10,000 subscribers happen in the month of October. And also, I do have a join button down there as well beside the subscribe button. If you're an Apple user, you have to click the link down in the description. But what that does, I'll be upfront, transparent with you, it does cost money per month, but it directly supports this channel. You do get some perks with it. You get a U by your name. You get special emotes you can use in live streams and all sorts of cool stuff. So check that out if you want to. It's always optional. And also don't forget that this Friday for the Virginia game, I will have links. So if you don't have cable, you don't have satellite, if you're a cheapskate like Coach Coop, I've got you. Some people call me the link man for a reason. Just show up for the live hangout during the game and I'll have links for you down in the description. So let's dive into this preview video. Miami versus Virginia, a Friday night game. Virginia is currently in the driver's seat to win the Coastal. And Miami fans, we've got to step back and be real for a second. If Miami drops this game, unless an absolute miracle happens and all the planets align, Miami would be out of the ACC race. Now, coming into this season, Virginia was a huge favorite to win the Coastal. And no matter which team you're a fan of, there's no denying that Virginia currently looks like the best team on that side of the ACC. Their only loss so far this season coming from Notre Dame, where they lost 35-20. Now for Miami, a lot of fans are currently in an uproar. Williams was benched against Virginia Tech due to 3 early interceptions in that game, and Diaz came out on Monday morning and announced that Williams will be the starter against the Cavaliers. And another interesting bit of information about the Canes going into this game, Manny Diaz was on the Joe Rose show on Monday morning and he was asked about the defense. And he was quoted saying that he's very unhappy with how this defense has been performing and play calling on the defense so far this season. So his role with the defense will be changing starting right now. So that means going into this game. However, he will not say exactly what that means. He's kind of being vague about it. So I don't know if that means he's going to be coaching more hands-on with the defense, if that means he's going to be calling all the plays for the defense. As far as we know right now, he's not going to really clarify that. He says that that's a change that they will make internally and all of the coaches will be aware of it and the players will be aware of it, but he's not going to make any type of official announcement saying exactly what that means. So does that change things going into this game? We don't know yet. And one last note for Miami, I do believe that they will be breaking out the new Adidas Parlay uniform combo for this game. Fans are torn on this one. The last time Miami wore the parlay uniforms, it didn't turn out too well. LSU, a lot of fans really wanted a blackout for this game. Do uniforms determine the outcome of a game? No, but it can kind of hype up the players and the crowd and stuff. So the parlay uniforms are for a good cause. If you don't know exactly what it is, just Google it, look it up, and you'll find out. But hopefully the parlay uniforms, if you believe in this type of stuff, are not cursed. Now let's talk a brief bit of history between these two teams. Miami and Virginia have faced off 16 times in total, with Miami leading that series 9-7. However, Virginia did win the game last year 16-13 in a game that was quite messy for both squads. So let's transition over to numbers. Let's talk stats for both of these teams. Now I'm going to put a little graphic image up here on the screen. Your boy Coop is doing what he can with Photoshop. It's not the best, but it gives you something visual to look at. So let's take a look Average points per game for Virginia coming into this matchup, 32. Miami, also 32. Average points allowed against them per game, Virginia 21. Miami also 21. Yards per game for Virginia, 364. Yards average per game for Miami, 449. And yards allowed against them per game, Virginia 275, Miami 283. When you look at these numbers, overall, keep in mind that Miami has some padded stats from the Bethune-Cookman game. These numbers on paper are pretty close. Now, one more key note before we move on to keys to a victory for both of these two teams. Quarterback Bryce Perkins for Virginia is not the same Bryce Perkins that us Miami fans remember from last season. His dual threat ability is really what makes this Virginia offense what it is. And his passing game has greatly improved from what we remember last season. So let's talk about 3 keys to a victory for Virginia in this game. Now keep in mind that when I do the keys to a victory for both of these squads, that there are many other things that need to happen for them to win the game. But these are 3 things that I feel like were pretty important and they stand out to me. So number 1 for Virginia, the Cavaliers will need to establish their run game early. They racked up a whopping 4 yards against Notre Dame. Now, Miami will come into this game expecting Perkins to scramble and run the ball. Now, did that really matter in the Virginia Tech game? It doesn't seem like it did, at least in the first half. But scrambling and running is what Perkins does. And don't take this the wrong way. He's good at it, and he likes doing it, and it's part of this offense. But if Virginia can establish a run game early and maintain it through the game, it allows them to not have to lean on Perkins scrambling and running, and they don't have to depend on it so much. Number 2, get the ball in the hands of wide receiver Joe Reed. I went back and watched some tape on the Virginia games, and that man is everywhere. He's caught 32 passes for 321 yards and 4 touchdowns so far this season. He's the type of playmaker that can line up in different spots, and he just makes something happen. And lastly, turnovers and sacks must be kept to a minimum if Virginia wants to win this game. Let's take a look at the only loss Virginia has so far this season against Notre Dame. 5 turnovers and 8 sacks. That really hurt this team in that game and had a huge impact on the outcome. Now let's move on to keys to a Miami victory in this game. Number 1, Miami needs to start fast and don't give up so many points in the first half. Miami is still struggling to put points on the board in the first and second quarters of games. Yet we continue to hand out touchdowns and field goals in the first half like we're handing out presents on Christmas Day or candy on Halloween night. Let's build a lead in the first half instead of having to play catch up. Number 2, now I understand this is going to be very broad here, but the defense as a whole just needs to play better in this game. This includes everything at every position on defense. I'm talking better execution, better tackling, getting off the ball quicker, creating chaos and turnovers like we used to. And lastly, can something special happen on special teams? Can Baxa hit a field goal? Heck, can he maybe even just hit an extra point? Please? Can we get a punt returned for a touchdown? Can we get a kickoff returned out to the 40 or 50? We need some type of explosive play on special teams to get this team and the crowd pumped up. So the big moment, score prediction for this game. First, let's go ahead and take a look at the ESPN matchup predictor. They have Miami's win percentage chance coming into this game at 59.4% and Virginia's win percentage chance coming in at 40.6% chance. So they have Virginia as a slight underdog coming into this game. Now, Coop's score prediction for this game. I had to think long and hard about this one, and you're about to see why. I have Miami putting up 21 points in this game. Virginia putting up 38. That's right. I have Miami losing this game at home 38-27. to 21. Yes, I'm picking Miami to lose. Now, am I saying that there's no way Miami wins this football game? Absolutely not. There's always a chance that Miami could win the football game. Am I saying there's no hope? Absolutely not. I generally try to look at the positives, and I remain optimistic. If I'm trying to look at that going into this game, Miami tends to play to their competition. So for this game, it's number 20 ranked Virginia. Prime time, under the lights, 8 p.m. Everyone's going to be watching. It's on a Friday night. Does that mean that Miami might show up for this game? Absolutely. We've done it in the past. Look at Notre Dame. Now, what I mean when I say play to the competition, look at North Carolina and Virginia Tech, Central Michigan. When we play lesser opponents, it's almost like we kind of just don't play as well. But then when it's prime time, we seem to show up and keep it close. Look at the Florida game. That was prime time, Camping World kickoff. Did we lose the game? Yes, but it was a close game. We didn't lose by a lot. So again, I'm not giving up all hope on this team. I'm not saying there's 0% chance that they win this game. Miami can pull out the victory, and please, I'm hoping and I'm praying that Miami proves me wrong. I'm hoping that we show up and we show out and we just absolutely demolish Virginia in front of a home crowd in our parlay jerseys at 8 p.m. on ESPN. But man, this score prediction, this 38 to 21, is based off of what I've seen on the field so far this season. The product that's actually out on the field. Man, please, Miami, please prove me wrong. Please prove Coach Coop wrong. I would love for Miami fans to come back on this preview video Saturday morning and say, Coach Coop, you were so wrong. We absolutely crushed Virginia. And I'm going to comment back and say, thank goodness. I am so glad that I was wrong on my score prediction for this game. But until Miami shows me that we can show up big this season, that's my score prediction. And like I said, don't take it as me hating on Miami. Don't take it as that. If you think that that's what I mean, I'm sorry, you're wrong. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan till the day I die. Ride or die, man. But I've got to see something from this team before I think that we can come out and beat number 20 ranked Virginia. Point blank. That's just the truth. So no big flashy skits and stuff for this game. Just come out and win the football game. I don't care about turnover chains. I don't care about touchdown rings. I just want to win the stinking football game. So, guys, remember, do what we do every preview video. Leave your score prediction down below. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm wrong. But let me know what you think on this game. Remember, guys, we are all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.